Hi, good evening. I'm Dr. Kelly Birkenstock, owner of Skin Body Health, with clinics in New Orleans, Louisiana, and Mandeville, Louisiana. We also serve everybody nationally. Licensed in Louisiana as well as Florida. As many of you know, I go to Florida quite often in the Tampa, Clearwater, and Miami, and Perdido Beach area. And we do shows, webinars, and procedural trainings, as well as Botox parties. Anyway, it's my absolute pleasure to talk to you today. We're talking about our current series about DNA weight loss. DNA weight loss, how weight loss guided through your particular DNA can not only break that barrier to weight loss you were never able to have before, but also it will help us to understand that interconnected woven wheel of how DNA combined with our leaky gut and how to solve that, thyroid issues, food allergies, sugar problems and or diabetes, hormones, which is our series for tonight, vitamins and amino acids, all come together to create harmony. And if the bad parts, if the gut is healthy, we're going to lose weight. If we got a leaky gut, it's going to fight us from losing weight. If our thyroid is sluggish, going to fight us from losing weight. If our thyroid is stabilized, even minimally controlled, you may not have an overt huge thyroid disorder. But if you are a little sluggish and we replace that thyroid hormone, as we'll talk later about tonight, then what happens is you're setting yourself up for a metabolic win. You're burning those excess calories that you wouldn't ordinarily burn. Food allergies, another one we touched on a few weeks ago. And all of our YouTube videos, all of our videos that we do each week are on our YouTube channel, Dr. Birkenstock's Skin Body Health. So if you've missed any of our DNA weight loss series, they can be found on that weight loss channel, Dr. Birkenstock Skin Body Health, as well as all of our other videos on COVID, anti-aging, beauty, and skin rejuvenation. Don't forget, please, to click the link below. That's always available there to go to our product store. If you've been following any of our videos, you know that we always have a special offering for the video topic of the night. And on DNA weight loss, we've extended all of our specials until April 1st. So, like and share to be entered for a drawing for a bottle of complimentary Zinc Prime. Tonight we're doing a special offering. We're going to offer to the first 20 people who like and share. Not the first person that likes and share, but the first 20 people that like and share will get one of our Zinc Prime dietary supplements. Zinc is so good, and not only for weight loss, as we'll get into for a moment, but for hair growth, overall health, strength, and stamina. It's just a wonderful product. Zinc will also support our immune system, and in these days, we certainly need that too. But zinc and weight loss, a perfect combination match. First 20 people to like and share our video tonight will receive a complimentary bottle of our Zinc Prime. Okay, without further ado, let's start to talk about the topic of weight loss. It's always been such a mystery. There was the grapefruit diet, there was the body loss diet, there was the South Beach diet. What happened was 2 or 3 friends would join, and you ever began a diet with a friend and they lost weight and you didn't, or vice versa? Well, the reason was probably in your genes. Yes, your DNA. In your genes was the secret to why one person was losing weight and one person wasn't. So for example, my DNA structure, I'm a 30-30-40. Well, that sounds like Chinese Greek. So I am built for a very high fat diet, 30%. It's a very peculiar body composition, but that's the way my DNA is made. 30% protein, which is a very moderate protein. So if I went on ideal protein, I might lose an initial few pounds, but as time went on, I would get stuck, I would plateau, and I would begin to gain weight because I convert some of those excess proteins into fats. It's a very almost confusing theory, but the way your DNA is built to accept macronutrients, big words, all those big words mean are fats, proteins and carbohydrates. And for me, an excess protein is not a win-win. Carbohydrates, from my particular DNA, I'm on the lowest of the totem pole. I get 40% carbs. That doesn't mean no carbs, but it certainly means that if I have lots of rice and pasta and potatoes and such, I'm going to be on the gain weight plane. So when we talk about fats, because me in particular, based on my DNA, everybody's DNA is unique and individual. That's why we do the DNA analysis. It's so simple. We swab the inside of your cheek with a Q-tip. We send it off to the lab. It's an international lab. They send us back a 40-page booklet all about you. So of course it's going to tell us about your macronutrients. So for my high fat, that doesn't mean French fry fat or fried chicken, but it does mean things like nuts, avocados, hard-boiled eggs or any type of eggs, or very, very good for me, lean meats, because of course even in a lean form of meat there's always fat. So those type of things from my body type are actually converted into muscle and strength. As far as the carbs, anyone should only eat, but me in particular, small amounts of complex carbohydrates, like your quinoas, lentils, garbanzo beans, black-eyed peas, red beans, and so on and so forth. And of course, moderate protein. And protein is kind of a catch-over because it's your peanut butters as well as your meats as well as your eggs. So a particular food substance is not only one thing. As we know, nuts have lots of protein and nuts have lots of fat, but it's still good fat, the monounsaturated fats. So that's the reason why you and your friend could have joined a diet plan and one of you lost weight and the other one failed miserably and you are both really not cheating. The other second part of our DNA profile tells us about your muscles. So if you're built with short twitch muscle fibers or fast twitch muscle fibers or slow twitch muscle fibers or maybe 50-50, that determines how you should exercise to most efficiently lose fat. So for example, if we both go and do a 5-mile bike ride in a very fast pace on the bike trails, our brain and our heart is both going to do well with either of those, and it's going to be great for heart health and brain health and mood. However, if we want to lose weight, if I have fast twitch muscle fibers and the other person has slow twitch muscle fibers, they just had a win-win. And for me, I had a great time, boosted my brain, had a healthier heart, but I did not lose the most amount of fat I could, because for me it wasn't aerobic enough or intermittent enough, and therefore I was exercising against my normal potential. A little bit of a confusing theory there. The last part of the DNA custom profile that we get especially just for you tells us about your brain. So sometimes we have just a bad habit, maybe a bad habit of eating sugar. Other times, our glucose 2 transporter, a mutation in the brain, makes us crave sugar, sugar, sugar. That's not a habit, but actually a mutation. Then we would recommend some different products that sort of could blunt or help block some of that mutation so that you weren't constantly fighting it all the time. So there are 7 parameters in the brain, leptin, another one, MTHFR, big long letters that begin to tell us about, well, if you're not absorbing B12 and you're not absorbing B9, then your cravings are increased. Much like if your iron was deficient, your cravings increase. Well, if you're eating B12 and B9, but you're not absorbing it, you may have that MTHFR mutation, which is included in the DNA report. Then we know to supplement you heavily in B12 and B9, and therefore cravings go down. Cravings go down, you eat less, you lose weight. So the DNA custom report is just bountiful, full of information on how every individual can lose weight according to their body type for macronutrients, proteins, carbs, and fats, their exercise potential, how to exercise to burn the most fat most efficiently, most quickly, and then yet their brain. Do they have a dopamine mutation or an MTHFR or a glucose transporter so that we can set everybody up to win. The report comes with 10 extra pages of research that backs every gene that they studied and why these genes tell us the story that they do, and the exercise program works. So we take that beautiful DNA information and then combine it with the other parts of the wheel that we've been talking about. The wheel is on our website, and the wheel is also on our Facebook. It's the wheel that tells us that weight loss is an integration. When we want to get to skinny success, and it's an integration of your DNA report, of course, your gut, whether it's leaky or healthy, your thyroid, whether it's normal or sluggish, your foods that you're eating. Food allergies can cause a tremendous amount of bloating, cravings, and weight gain. We talked about that 2 weeks ago on our website and on our YouTube. Sugar, whether you've got just a little bit of high sugar, or whether you're just eating too much sugar, or whether you've got frank diabetes, any of those are going to cause you to not only crave more sweets, but to gain weight. Very inefficient fuel. And then tonight, without further ado, we're going to talk about male and female hormones. So, when we talk about male and female hormones, it's sort of been my life crusade to kind of figure this out. So I'm using my personal knowledge, my science expertise, and the often overlooked multi-step approach to optimal weight. If we just focus on one facet, we'll never get there. Even myself, when I was a younger person, I gained a lot of weight. We'll show those before and afters one day. And then I lost it. Then I had 3 children, gained some back, and then I had to lose it again. But the second time around, I was in perimenopause and then menopause. It became a much different story. So when someone tells you, just pull the fork out of your mouth and you lose weight, well, that might work from 0 to 35, maybe even 0 to 40. But after that, it's a game changer. And when that game changes, whether you're in male menopause, andropause, or an older male, or whether you're in female perimenopause, or female menopause, or an older, more mature female, the game changes. And if you don't change with the game, you're going to blow up. You're going to have that abdominal belly fat, loose tissue, which not only is it not aesthetically pleasing if you care about that, but also it's very, very bad for heart health, liver health, kidney health, brain health, and the like. None of us want that heart attack or stroke. So even if for you it's not all about being a size whatever, 2, 4, 8, whatever. It may be about just that heart health, that brain health, and that liver health. When we look then now to about hormones and we know things are changing, we're seeing hormone issues earlier than we ever have before. Well, why? Is it global warming, which I don't even believe in, or is it some other oddity? I'll tell you what it is. It's so complicated, but a lot of it is when you're eating at the McDonald's for the last 20 years, not picking on that food chain or any of the fast food chains, they were putting in their buns yoga mats, molecules of yoga mats in their buns to keep them preserved. Not kidding, Google it, look it up, it's a true story. In addition to that, they've got BPA, BPH, BPF, and I'm sure there'll be many other BPs that come out that are absolutely horrendous for us. That's in not only the foods, it's also in the plastic containers. It's also coming off the electrical wires, and those put out xenoestrogens. Well, most people know the word estrogen. Estrogen is a form of hormone. But when you put the word xeno in front of it, X-E-N-O, xenoestrogen, it becomes a deadly form of an estrogen. So that's why all these young people and people that are older, more mature like us, the baby boomers and beyond, they've been exposed to these products for so long that the males are actually growing male breasts, also known as gynecomastia or soft tissue breasts. The women are going to menopause earlier. We're seeing more breast cancers and uterine cancers. And in the young girls, we're seeing menstrual cycles start at 8 and 10 years old. We're seeing breast enlargement at 8 and 10 years old. It's from these fake estrogens, the hormones, the estrogens, the xenoestrogens, that are in our environment, not only in the fast food chains, in the smog, in the pollution, in the waters, and everything else that we eat and drink. Another important point is now we're getting into the third generation of women that are using birth control pills. We're barely into the third generation. So if you go back to your grandmother and your great-grandmother, that wasn't available. So imagine this, when you've got X amount of million of women, multi-million of women across the globe, across the world, using birth control pills, which are estrogen. When that woman eliminates her urine, that urine goes out into our lakes, streams, rivers, and oceans. And what our waters are cured for is things like heavy metals and chlorines. Our waters are not purified for estrogen, especially synthetic estrogens. So not only are we getting it from the foods, from the cows that are injected with hormones and antibiotics, from the plastics that are full of the xenoestrogens, we're also getting it from our drinking water, because our drinking water is not purified against estrogens or any other medication product that a female or a male may be doing the androgen testosterone creams or testosterone pills or testosterone injections. Same thing. So we've got these fake estrogens, these fake testosterones going to our water supply, and they're not being cleansed out. So we're getting an excess amount of synthetic bad hormones that are doing nothing but aging us, causing cancer, and doing detriment to the body. Okay, so to get off that soapbox, let's get back on to weight loss and hormones and the exact topic of tonight. So we know that when the hormones are in balance, our metabolism runs efficiently, we lose weight, we don't gain excess weight, we can keep a tight midriff, and we feel better, look better, less fatigue, more energy, more stamina. When we start to lose our hormones, and let's just stick with a natural loss right now. So menopause, andropause, ladies and men above the age of 40 begin to lose their normal amounts of testosterone and estrogens. And yes, men have estradiol, estriol, estrone, progesterone, and testosterone. Of course, testosterone is the major makeup of the male, but they do have those other 4 hormones as well. For the female, yes, we have testosterone, smaller amounts, much smaller, but of course we need those smaller amounts. We don't need none, we don't need zero, we need some. Also, we need our estradiol, our estriol, and our progesterone. After menopause and andropause, when the female and male gets older, what we mainly make is estrone. That's the bad estrogen, E1, that can cause unlikely effects like breast cancers. And yes, males get breast cancer too. But estrone in a male more commonly pulls down their testosterone. When their testosterone is pulled down, their strength gets lower, their cravings get more, they get more emotional, not angry emotional, but sort of feminine emotional, to be frank, and they begin to eat more. For a female, when her strong horses, estradiol, E2, estriol, E3, go down, and her estrone goes up, increases the risk for breast cancer, and increases cravings, increases waistline circumference, also increases fatty pockets, which are beta cells. It's not good for either male or female to be low in their natural hormones. So I'm a huge believer in bioidentical natural hormone replacement and supplements that can help your adrenal glands and your whole body to put out some natural hormones as well. So when you gain weight after the age of 40, weight loss becomes difficult, and just cutting your calories and just exercising a little bit doesn't cut it. One of the issues, as we're talking about tonight, is when the hormones are out of whack. So if we get the hormones back into that normal orchestra where they're playing that beautiful music, it's going to help you help yourself to get back to your weight loss goals and get you on the road to skinny success. So not only are the hormones, when they're in concert, great for weight loss, but also improves strength, improves libido dramatically, energy, memory, and mood. Without our natural set of hormones, we can become depressed anxious, and it may not be on a major level, but even on a minor level, that's taking away our quality of life. So we need all of our hormones to be at their sweet spot, to be in harmony, to be optimally functioning. And when they are, we lose weight. So your physician can test your hormone levels. What I recommend is your T3 for thyroid, your T4 for thyroid, your testosterone, progesterone, estradiol, estriol, estrone, testosterone, DHEA, cortisol, and SHBG. All of these will be on my website. But when you get that full orchestra of hormones and you get them balanced, giving somebody a little bit of what they need here and a little bit of what they need there and maybe a lot of another constituent, when you get us into singing that orchestra again, the body works in concert and everything works better. By and large, most people lose DHEA first. That's a winner. Zinc right behind, so that's a winner. But for all the others, especially the ones that have to be replaced by prescription, whether it's bioidentical hormone prescription creams, which I highly recommend, or if you choose to do some other hormone form of replacement, you want to make sure that your physician is following your hormone levels. So don't please let anyone just slap a patch or a pill or an injection on you without following your levels, because it's kind of like anything else. If you don't follow the levels of your brake fluid in your car, or your gas in your car, or anything else, you can get yourself into a problem. So just like equipment can get into a problem with the wrong levels of fluids, so can the human body. So when those hormones are off, the major ones we've been talking about tonight, testosterones and estrogens and progesterones, we get belly fat, we get sugar cravings, our sleep gets worse and worse and worse. We get either those early morning awakenings, or we try to get in bed, we're so tired, and the mind races and races and races. It's a imbalance of your hormones. So another thing that happens with this is an increased cortisol. So when our good hormones are out of whack, our bad cortisol jumps. Cortisol increases sugar, even if you don't eat sugar, increases free fatty acids, which makes more fat cells. So just by being stressed out and pumping up your cortisol, you're getting fat. You didn't even put anything in your mouth. So that's very, very important. Balance the hormones and do some things to calm down and de-stress. Exercise, meditation, yoga, reading a good book, listening to Beethoven, whatever it is that can get you into that calm mood to let go some of that stress. Try meditation, try a massage, Tai Chi, as well as heart math. Heart math has been studied, you can find it online. Very, very interesting work. And when the heart is in alignment with its rhythm and calm, the brain turns on to happy hormones. So just a little aside on that. So our high quality omega fish oils with the high EPA, DHA, a medical grade with that GMP seal of approval. That's very, very good to help the regulation of the brain and the mood and the hormone, as well as phosphatidylserine, which are PS, which is also good for when we're talking about that lousy sleep. It helps in that category. Our low thyroid hormones, as we all know, increases cravings, increases weight gain, because when the thyroid is slow, it so slows down metabolism. So decreasing stress and gluten found in the white foods like white breads and yeast, that definitely will help decrease that cortisol level, as well as decreasing stress decreases that cortisol level, which is the cortisol destroys the metabolism. We talked a little bit about make sure you eliminate plastic glassware from your life. Do glass, do stainless steel. They do not contain the BPA, BPH, or all the other constituents in plastic that are found to be unhealthy. One short note on that. So right now, BPA and now BPF has been cited as the bad ones. So the plastic container people are very busy citing, saying, well, our containers don't have BPA or BPF, we're the good ones. It's only because the other BPs and plastics haven't been caught or researched or studied yet. They're going to all wind up being bad. I beg you, do not use plastic products, whether it's BPS, A, FG, H, XYZ. They're going to turn out to be bad. They're going to turn out to be deadly. Use old-fashioned glass, Pyrex, or stainless. The other bad dog besides plastics or aluminum. Aluminum will cause Alzheimer's. Don't use aluminum deodorants. Check your deodorants. Most of them have aluminum, as well as things like Magnolite pots and plenty of aluminum and tinfoil cans. So please be wary of that. So back to hormone disruption. We know it's caused by some of these products like plastics and aluminums. So if you increase your vitamin D, B6, B9, B12, selenium, Brazil nuts, these are all things that help the hormones stay in regulation on a very natural basis. Turkey is another great one. So we know low estrogen in the male or female, low good estrogen, estradiol and estriol, we know that increases appetite and belly fat. So researchers at Yale found that estradiol, E2, one of the great estrogens, that really uses the same pathway as the leptin hormone. The leptin hormone tells us, hey, you've had a nice big meal here. You don't need any more. You're full. Quit picking. All right? When that leptin hormone is unregulated, we finish the steak and then we're looking for the chips and then maybe a little ice cream later. We know that estradiol follows that same pathway. So we don't want that low in a male, not at astronomical levels, but at proper physiologic or regular levels for a male. And we certainly want it at the normal higher levels in the female. When we have that, we're blocking all that excess negativity that is drawing us to those cravings, that hunger button. So natural estrogen balancers are things like flaxseed, dried fruits, beans, peas, as well as exercise and in relations and orgasm. Those are things that will naturally produce estradiol, the workhorse for both the male and the female. Hormone replacement may also be warranted. You may want to talk to a bioidentical hormone physician like myself, or you may know of another one. And let them look at your hormones to see if just foods are not alone and you may need some bioidentical hormone creams or other. Low testosterone, whether a male or a female, can make our muscles kind of mushy. But in addition to make our muscles looking saggy, it will also lead to a slow metabolism and less responsiveness to gym training, resistance training with weights. When you correct that, and we're not talking about, again, we're not talking about shooting anybody up with steroid hormones or growth hormones or even testosterone. Tiny little medical amounts, tiny milligrams, matched to what your blood is showing that you may be deficient in, can lead to overwhelming success. An increase in muscle tone, increase in vitality, increase in libido, and muscle strength. Some natural testosterone balancers are: 1, decrease your sugar intake. Get the sugar out of your coffee. Get the sugary pastries out of your life. You will get an increase in natural testosterone. Other things, eggs and egg yolks, tuna, shellfish, oysters especially, and beef. Zinc. Zinc's always a winner. Zinc, vitamin D, and DHEA supplements will also boost your testosterone and help your body to make some natural testosterone all on its own.